Welcome back to the Crypto Father channel. I am the Crypto Father, and in today's video I'll be showing you the profitability or the hash rate on the P104-100 Gigabyte. It's an older graphics card, and if you have those, then kudos to you, on the same level as me. So make sure to smash up the likes on this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course stick around till the very end. I'm gonna look at a couple of different mining algos and talk about the hash rate as it's recorded on hashrate.no. So I've been mining through Hive OS, which is a fantastic thing. Actually, I had no idea about Hive OS until I started mining, and basically thanks to the community on Meowcoin, I learned how to set up everything with the help of the guys from Coin Miners. The Coin Miners pool, man, they've been fantastic. Even today, this morning, I was fixing things up because there's always hiccups. This thing never sleeps. There is always issues coming up, and for whatever reason, once you set up the parameters and once you start mining, for the most part, it runs smoothly. But occasionally, when you start switching between algorithms, things start to get wonky. In any case, I initially purchased the P104. Actually, the P104 -100 are the GPUs that got me started, that got me mining proper. I started mining cryptocurrency in 2018, I think, or 2017, using only one GPU, and just recently I decided to jump in and started mining Meowcoin, and I built a specific rig for that, and I used the P104-100. So I ordered 8 of these things, because I got what I thought was a ridiculously cheap price on the GPUs. And at that time, when I bought them, I paid something like $22 per GPU. So the whole setup cost me less than $800, pretty much, to build my first rig with 8 P104-100 GPUs. And since then, I've been adding some more. I've been picking up used GPUs here and there. So I've got the GeForce RTX 2080 Super. I just recently added the GeForce RTX 3060, and then I've got the GeForce RTX 2070. In my research, I found that the 2080 is the seems to be the most efficient for mining, although I haven't been able to find a 2080. I did find a 2080 Super, which was actually by pure accident. But enough banter. So let's have a look at the mining hash rate here. So the P04 tend to mine, and it always depends on the power limit, although occasionally the power limit or the adjustment of these parameters doesn't really do much. And every card is very different. Like you can see right here, this one at the bottom here, the GPU 8 produces 1 gigahash, while all the other GPU, the P104s, produce around 900. Occasionally, depending on the day and how they feel, they will produce around 1 gigahash per. And so this is on the SHA 256 DT algo. I'm mining Novo right now. It's one of the coins that I talked about in one of my videos. And you know, I wasn't gonna stick to Meowcoin all the time. I mean, I've been given this power of mining. Been given this power of mining, and of course, I'm gonna explore. I wouldn't be, you know, completely. I think I would be doing injustice to Meowcoin coin miners and the community on Meowcoin if I didn't explore the options and, you know, play around with the rigs. I mean, that's the learning process. So I'm mining some Novo right now. I want to accumulate some of the coins for the bull run, because it's good to have a lot more eggs in your basket, right? So the P104 is right now, I've got it set at 140 core, 900 memory, and 140 power limit. And this I found to be a pretty good setting. It worked for these GPUs for most algorithms. Usually when you go the settings here, you can change to popular settings, and you can change the settings depending on the algo that you're mining. Like Nexa has a different mining algo, and I tried messing around with these, and honestly they haven't done too much. Like some of these algos, some of these settings are wonky. Like some of them only have core and power limits. They don't have any memory clock settings at all. But I found that this one, 140, 900, and 140 are the best. And I tried to minimize it. I think if I up the power limit, I used to have the power limit set to 180, which of course means the card draws more power, so hash rate would go up, but not in all instances. So I just changed the hash rate here, or rather the power limit here. See, yeah, the hash rate jumped up, but of course the overall power consumption also jumps up, and the graphics card starts to heat up. So for just for a couple mega hash more, you know, so power consumption is at 162 right now, and the GeForce 2080 Super went up. So I'm trying to keep my power consumption below 1.3 kilowatts because my PSU is at 1800. It's an 1800 power supply, so I'm trying to keep it below around the 80%. Okay, so this is what hash rate is produced on the Novo algo. If you go to hashrate.no, the 104-100 on Novo should produce 789 mega hash per second. So right now it's actually producing the results. Even if I reset it to 0, even if I reset the core clocks to 0, the hash rate will be about the same for some reason. And so this is actually better. The results here are better than they are shown on hashrate.no. And this has been true across all other algorithms as well. This is a screenshot from yesterday. I was mining some Nexa up until yesterday. I'm trying to accumulate that as well. And so the P104-100 with the same settings, 140, 900, 140, gave me about 10 mega hash on average. 10, 9.9, 10, 10, 10, and 10. So this is pretty much the average that I get on these particular settings. I think, yeah, if I cranked it up to 180, so this number would be probably bigger. This would be around 11 mega hash per second. As you can see on this one here, 180 watts gives me a bit of a higher hash rate, and it remains above 1 giga hash at this power level. But so this is 10 mega hash on Nexa, although hashrate.no indicates that I should be getting 8.65. So I don't know if I guess maybe they're showing, like, I don't know if this is tested, if these are just numbers that, you know, average expected numbers, but the ones that I'm getting across basically all the P104-100 GPUs, it tends to be at least 2 mega hash higher, or one. It tends to be higher, and not due to overclock settings, but I think even without those. And on Meowcoin I used to get 17 mega hash. Where's Meowcoin? Yeah, on Meowcoin I used to get around, I think, 21 mega hash per second, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have any screenshots of Meowcoin, but the indicated numbers here are 17.33, and those are much lower than what I was getting. I was getting around 21 mega hash per second on Meowcoin. So the only drawback to these cards is that they're pretty power greedy. They do consume a lot of electricity. So on Meowcoin, on Cowpow, it consumes 3.6. But with the new Meowpow algo, I'm hoping that this is going to change, and so these little GPUs are going to become more profitable again as the low-end GPUs go, so whenever I do some searches, the AMD RX 580 comes up against the P104-100. These are pretty much the cheapest cards that you can get right now, and so they're usually paired up against each other. And I find that despite the fact that AMDs tend to be, I guess, arguably better for mining than Nvidia are, for the RX 580 on Meowcoin, I only get around 13, I guess maybe around 15 mega hash per second versus the 17 or 21 mega hash per second on the P104. And the price for these right now, I think the P104 are actually a little bit cheaper than the RX 580. So the profitability on the P104 is actually a little bit better. And for the price tag, you're looking, at making some extra money over the RX 580. However, of course, there is the issue of power consumption. Both of these consume a lot more power than any other, than some of the newer cards. The one that I changed algo on is overheating, so that was another reason why I have these set to a lower setting for 140, because then the fans go in the red as soon as I change them. So when I keep the settings at 140 for power limits, the temperature on the P104 never goes above 70 in very rare cases. So I like to keep the rig cool. I've got fans set up, but I guess I could set up another fanning system, but that would cost more electricity, which means profitability drops. So Meow Pow coming out on March 18th should be a miracle worker. There you go, hash rate dropped a little bit, but also the heat is down on the 2080 Super. The P104 still up there, so hopefully that's going to drop as well. I was compiling a list of graphics cards based on and profitability and or rather hash rate and power consumption based on the hash rate NO website, and included revenue, although that's subjective because the revenue always varies depending on the overall hash rate on the network hash rate. The revenue will vary, so this is kind of irrelevant. But I found that the NVIDIA GTX 1660 Ti had a pretty decent hash rate. So the power consumption is 2.4, and you get 15.27 mega hash on that on Meowcoin. The 60 and the GTX 1660's got only takes about 1.5 kilowatts. And produces like 12. So I guess with the discrepancy that I receive and the one that's listed on hashrate.no, we're looking at like 13 mega hash, and over here on the 1660 Ti maybe 17. But the best part that I found was the RTX 2080. This is only in the 20 series. I didn't go beyond that, obviously, because the 300 or the 3000 and 4000 series are a lot more advanced. So but in the older versions, the 2000 series 2080 seemed to be pretty good. The 2080 Super has a much higher power consumption, and you get about the same hash rate as you get on the 2080 Super, or sorry, on the 2080 rather. So I found that the 2080 is a pretty good one. Everything else, like the RTX, this 2070, whenever there is a Super, they tend to consume a lot more energy. So on the 2070 Super, it's 4.7 kilowatts. On the 2070, it's 3.6, which is the exact same number as the 2080 Super, with the different hash rate, obviously. On the 2070, you get a higher hash rate, but of course there's a higher power consumption. It looks like the RTX 2080 does have the best results, power consumption, low power consumption, and a still relatively high hash rate produced. I didn't include my card. I didn't get around to including my card here, the 3060, but I did include the 3050 and 3080, which were the 3080 is a complete power guzzler at 6 kilowatts, but it does produce a massive hash rate on Meowcoin, at least. On Carlson, it was the 2080 Super that was producing the best results with 2.1 kilowatts per hour and 958 mega hash per second. The 3000 series, these guys here, they've got super duper low power consumption, so that's one thing what the 3000 and 4000 series have going for them. I guess they take up a lot less power. So for a price tag of right now, I think the P104 costs, I think I can get them for about, I don't know, $30-40. It's a good place to start, and I will keep those cards, of course. They do produce yields, and they were my gateway into building a rig, which is very important. I think if you're going to start mining and you have never built a rig, graphics cards that are inexpensive like these ones or the RX 580 are a good place to start. Just in case you mess things up, it's not going to cost you all that much. You know, if it's the first time you're building a rig, I wouldn't go straight for the 4090, which apparently are not all that different from the 4070s. Actually, some of the results that I've heard for the 4070s or 4060s are actually better than those for 4080s. The problem with the 4090s have a massive price tag. Return on your money seems to be a lot faster, but from what I've heard, from what people have been saying in the Discord channel, the 4060s or 4070s are just as good as the 4090s, but at a lower price tag. So in any case, if you're starting to just mine and start, you know, tinkering around with building a rig, I would recommend go for the cheaper cards. They don't cost a lot of money. Pick up a P104. Don't go with the P106. I found that the the P102 and P106, I don't have that here, but the P102 and 106 either had very high power consumption and low hash production, or vice versa. Like the P102 is a complete guzzler, and it produces less power, less hash than the P104, and the P106 was in a similar position. Oh, let's have a Meowcoin here. Yeah, only 10 mega hash, which is not a lot, but it does, I guess it does take up only 2.1 kilowatts. So maybe 106 wouldn't be that bit of an option. I just don't know what the price tags are. I know that the 104s are pretty inexpensive. So that's my recommendation if you're going to start mining. If this is your first time building a mining rig, then I would recommend getting one or two of those cards, because then you're not running risk of messing things up. If something, you know, if you connect, the wire is wrong, and if you melt stuff or things break, drop a card by accident, then it's not going to cost you $1,000. It will cost you $50 or whatever. But the most important thing with the release of the Meow Pow algo, I hope that the 104 will be worthwhile again, and actually now might be a good time to scoop up some more of these cards before prices on them jump up, and prices have been rising slowly, and I guess they will continue to do so. So something to keep in mind. I'm not even talking about the profitability in terms of dollar value in these videos, because I find it to be very irrelevant, because that basically is at the mercy of the overall hash rate. You know, if the hash rate is stable and it's low, then your revenue is a little bit higher. If the hash rate picks up like it did on what is it, Axilia right now, or an Axilia rather right now, hash rate picked up and revenue dropped significantly. I've been tinkering around with setting up a store for some merch, and I created some Meowcoin merch. I made these cool looking hoodies with a logo that says I am 95.6% Tiger. There's some t-shirts, camping cups, pillow, and just regular coffee mugs. So those you can pick up through the store. It should be linked. I don't even know how it's linked, but it's linked somehow to YouTube. I gotta check. I don't know. It says on YouTube that due to merchandise restrictions, your store is not displayed to viewers in South Korea, which is unfortunate. I'm not sure if people can access it outside of Korea, but it's not visible in Korea. And I don't know how to display these things on the channel. So really, this is not a very good pitch for the store that I'm trying to build. But I'll be adding some more merch and I'll be expanding this. So that's coming. If you are already here, please consider joining the memberships on the channel. That always helps me out. Welcome back to the Crypto Market Updates. Two levels right now: Crypto Kitten, Crypto Cat. Shout out to the present members. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. At least if you are new to the channel and you would like to support it, so now all the please make sure to do so. That'll be much appreciated. Also, tomorrow is Tuesday. No, tomorrow is Wednesday. I'll be announcing the airdrop tomorrow in tomorrow's video, so make sure to come back. Another Meowcoin airdrop is coming your way, so come back tomorrow for the announcement. And in the meantime, please remember to smash up the likes on this video, subscribe to this channel, and return for more content from the Crypto Father channel. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good Tuesday. Peace.